regards to full initiation, if they're going to try to just stay on top of them with Orb of Venom and Tangle right clicks, yeah, I think that Stampede will be pretty huge in how the bear moves.
Yeah, definitely. That's we see lone druids so seldom, and I don't know that I've cast a game recently with these two heroes on the same side. So that's a fun little bit of synergy there, and of course getting the spirit bear in the front lines, maybe hope for some of those entangling claws, can certainly set you off on the right foot. So Pain Gaming, unfortunately, do have a couple of stand-ins here. They've got Puppy Carioca. So a puppy imposter, not a name that I'm familiar with, but their stand-in support here. They will have King RD playing on the Bat Rider, starting off in the jungle. 4DR will be on the Lone Druid down here in the safe lane, and their second support will be old Netty here. He's tagged up as a stand-in, but we've seen him on CMB quite a bit, taking Helm on the Wraith King. That puts their other stand-in, Mino, on the off-lane Centaur. So a couple of names that I don't think we've seen as consistent stand-ins for CNB in the past, Blaze.
No, definitely not. These are just kind of, I think I've seen Mino, but like a year ago, and I can't really register his playstyle very well in my mind. So obviously they pub together, they've had experience with one another, but they don't seem to be really like stand-in members of the roster itself. They're just kind of helping out for this particular day, which obviously gives more of an edge for EG. I mean, if they get upset by what is one of the lower ranking teams in the current tournament as it stands right now, with two stand-ins, then man, that is one huge confidence shaker.
Yeah, most definitely. Universe will be in the off lane with his boots first, and Fear will do some blocking to get him a little bit of lane control with that Earth Shaker. Clarity's up and will rotate his way what looks like up towards the top. That does put Zai in the solo mid role on the Brewmaster. PPD will be supporting on the Veno, and of course Arteezy. He'll be going solo mid here, or why am I saying solo mid? He'll be going safe lane farm up in the top on that Naga Siren. So fairly straightforward lanes from EG. I think most of us are pretty aware now that PPD's been pretty vocal about the players moving out of set roles and just taking over more kind of heroes that they're comfortable with and following suit here in this match.
Yeah, I was actually watching PPD's stream earlier, and he was talking about how they really wanted to, when they were considering people to stand in for Fear and Mason's position, they were considering support players just so they could actually get the most out of Zai's potential. I mean, he actually plays core players like Meepo and Brewmaster very effectively, and we're actually going to get that opportunity to see him here. So, shifting the roles a little bit, but only favorably. They know what he can do with micro-intensive heroes, and they want to see that put to use here in the mid lane. Already starting off with the Magic Stick. Instead of going for the Bottle Rush, he sees his matchup, he knows what he needs to do, and he is going to take 5 Napalm stacks, can't even say the word, Napalm stacks, but he does have plenty of Magic Stick to play defensively under the tower as it stacks up.
Yeah, core item against Bat Rider, no surprise there, but Bat Rider mid is a little bit atypical, and he should be able to secure a decent amount of farm. The big thing about Bat Rider mid is he'll get a lot of experience as King RD takes a Thunderclap under the tower, doing some decent damage here, but now Zai up to 10 stick charges. He may be trying to bait something out here from King RD and get him to overcommit and then pop the stick. Now, meanwhile, in the top lane, Fear will throw out a fissure. Maybe not the positioning he was hoping for, but Mino still in a bit of a sticky situation. Fake pump in the hoof stomp. Will get it off just in the nick of time with 60 hit points to spare and will make it back to safety.
Yeah, fortunate for him, of course, the Venomous Gale at level 1 doesn't do any damage, and as well, the heroes that he stomps are 2 melee heroes, so no subsequent right clicks coming through. If the Venomancer was not blocked on the other side of the fissure, then I do believe that's a guaranteed kill. But for now, it's just going to be him holding back into the tower, getting this wave of experience, and after it dissipates, most likely making his way back home.
There's a smoke rotation from Pain Gaming, the 2 supports coming into the lane. King RD's here, stacking up the napalm. There's your shackle. Zai with 4 stick charges, but looking like he won't be able to survive this one. Ned's there with the Wraithfire Blast. He'll draw the first blood, and Pain Gaming off to a good start with a successful gank onto the Brewmaster.
Yeah, and the best part about this is how the Lone Druid down in bottom lane is going to be able to just chunk through this tower when he hits level 7, and the fact that he gets complete free farm for now. The Doom is going to be in the jungle here. He gets the Dark Troll Summoner Devour, so he is able to jungle very efficiently with the little Skeleton Warriors, but all the same, they have seeded the bottom lane. His progression isn't going to be all that hot, kind of as we saw last game. He started off a little weak, but when we compare it to the fact that the Centaur gets to stay up here and get the full experience, we're going to be seeing them hit level 6 a lot more rapidly.
Yeah, and even just seeing a lone druid in free farm heaven is a little bit cause for concern, I suppose. He will go boots and orb of venom on the bear to get things started, get some boots on the druid, and off to a pretty standard start. Will be interesting to see what build 4DR goes for. It seems lone druids will sometimes test the waters and see how much gold they can pull up, and if they can end up getting like 13, 14 minute radiant, something like that, then they'll go for it. But more often than not, that's not really so viable, and you'll see, I guess, more frequently the Maelstrom come out onto the Spirit Bear as one of the first core items, and kind of build up from there, look towards an Assault Cuirass and other items that can really just chunk down towers very quickly.
Yeah, I would like to see the Maelstrom come out just to get more activity early on before Arteezy gets too big to deal with. But one big issue you got to worry about is the fact that Drunken Haze is very difficult to get off the bear. You have to essentially go for a Monkey King bar. I mean, we've seen BKB in the bear sometimes, but this isn't the game for that, I don't believe. So it just makes it so that you're in a weird position, either BKB or MKB. In either case, you're committing a lot of resources just to nullifying that mischance or maybe a slow from the Venno. So very frustrating that he's up against these heroes, but that's what they picked into, so they know the risks.
Yeah, Arteezy is getting good farm in the top lane, on par with CS, keeping up blow for blow with the lone druid. They're all tied up at 26 apiece, and he will just go Aquila first, and then probably look to pull up towards the relic here. We'll stop off for some boots first, and after that it is smooth sailing towards the Radiance. Another rotation in the mid lane from Pain Gaming. They want Zai, but this time it'll be a little more difficult. He's hit level 6 just barely, and Primal Split means he'll have that get out of jail free card. Even if they can force out a Primal Split in a more defensive fashion, then still a minor victory for Pain Gaming.
Yeah, they have to realize that if there's no vision on them bottom, and they're obviously not pulling because they have the Observer ward up since the beginning of the game, that they are going to be roaming, and they're either trying to make something happen up top, or more likely Zai just has to stay at the top of his steps here in the mid lane. But yeah, he's just going to be able to keep it held back here, not finding much as far as farm goes, but if he can just get the wards quarried out to him, he's going to be perfectly fine. So we do see the wards and TP scroll coming out. This is just in case he really needs to get out of dodge, and he's stuck under the Firefly.
Yeah, now Fear has gone bottom to push back the lone druid, and pretty successful, a good hero to deal with the power of the bear, and also Fear finding some decent experience as the creeps shove into tower range. He is soon to be level 5, and now they'll get some lane control back, but at least this Earthshaker is finding a baseline of experience, and that is really where EG are finding their advantage. Their supports are both sitting level 4, and on the side of Pain Gaming, Ned has not found much, only level 2 on the Wraith King. And sort of the same story for the Shadow Shaman, who has just now hit level 4, but still kind of slow on the uptake. King RD throws out a lasso onto Fear, but not even close to enough damage. Zai's right there, Courier flies through. He will use an invisibility rune and keep himself standing, just dropping down the Firefly. The Universe is here, and that will be a first lasso that does not yield a kill.
Yeah, if the Shadow Shaman actually gotten a low to high ground shackles, they might have been able to burn down the Brewmaster during that duration, but as it stood, without the Stampede, they can't pull the Fear far enough out of position to really make that worth the commitment. So, in the end, it's a level 5 Earthshaker who survived for some great time on the off lane, avoids that cooldown, and it's actually going to be the Centaur to fall next. So, they dive him under the tower, they make use of their Ensnare to really make sure the Gale will connect, and yeah, with that follow-through, they do get huge farm momentum for Arteezy.
Yeah, and the slow from the wards there with that one value point in the Poison Sting, making Arteezy's life a lot easier, and secures a kill. So all of a sudden, Pain Gaming, sure they got that first blood, but you don't want to feed too many kills of that Naga, who's already free farming away. Now Arteezy is #1 on net worth by a nice little margin there, and a hop and a skip ahead of Mr. Lone Druid, who now has phase boots up on the bear, and won't be pulling up for some sort of a super fast relic or anything like that. Just very standard stuff coming out of him. You mentioned the Maelstrom is probably a good first item just to let him get a little bit more active, and also a great item just to deal with the illusions of Naga before that Heart of Tarrasque comes out early on. The Chain Lightnings do work wonders in clearing up all those illusions.
Yeah, we'll see if that's the route he wants to go with. There are a lot of different paths he can take from this point forward, but it's actually going to be more interesting how fast King RD is able to take advantage of this Blink Dagger. If he's going to find an opening here with the fact they just placed an Observer Ward, giving them vision into the fog, yeah, Universe should die here. Like, they have all the tools they need to just go for the lasso, blink on him, and get the Entangle immediately after the fact. Yes, there is the defensive Fissure, but they can Firefly, pull him over that, and still go in for the kill.
And here we go,
Oh.
King RD, awkward blink, and Well, that will not yield a kill. The fissure comes out, and that'll be the end of it. So kind of a missed opportunity there from Pain Gaming, and a lot of wasted time for this Bat Rider. Well, he's given some time for Shadow Shaman to get some farm in the mid, so I guess it's not totally wasted time with him hiding in the fog there, as Shadow Shaman will now find his level 6. But you need to find something with these initial opportunities, and that window where Bat Rider can just find free kills with the blink before he gets the Force Staff is rapidly closing. Yeah,
quite surprised that turned out to be completely unsuccessful. Either not realizing how big that nerf to the Flaming Lasso range was, or just miscasting with his Blink Dagger. In either case, the kill is not found, but this tower might be. The siege going down, the Fortify is popped, this bear is wailing away at it, but Fear wants to hold it. Gets the stun out, but well, he does get the deny. The Enchant Totem giving him just enough damage, and now looking for the turnaround, at least on the bear. The Spirit Bear goes down, and 40R looking for the TP. Oh, just barely gets it away. But even still, it comes at heavy cost. The 300 gold bounty going the way of Zai, and even looking for another kill to follow.
Yeah. Let's take a Wraithfire Blast with a haste rune up on Zai. Could be looking for a Primal Split if he wants to get very aggressive. Ned's only level 3, so not too scary on that Wraith King. But instead, Zai will just scurry his way back towards the mid and continue pulling up towards that Blink Dagger. No need to take unnecessary risks when you have all this unreliable gold and only 500 off the Blink. So good stuff from EG. They lose their first tower, but Fear not only sets up the bear kill, but a well-timed deny really minimizes the income there for Pain Gaming, and EG will take a gold and experience lead. 1,500 experience already in their favor. Universe just jungling away. Tranquil Boots on the ground for a little bit of enhanced efficiency, and just going for that fast Midas. Gloves of Haste already picked up, and 1,000 gold to boot.
Yeah. Still, with all these disables, you'd think that Pain would have found another opening by now. This is the 10-minute mark with a very active lineup when the ultis all come out, but it seems like just the lack of Stentar Stampede is enough to deter them. The bottom tower getting denied, and them not picking off the Brewmaster, like right here. Like, they've got the Lasso, they've got Shackles, they've got Wraithfire Blast, a lot of potential stuns, but they just fear the retaliation of EG too heavily, and they're just going to take the tower clean.
Yeah, no defense from EG will be mounted. Instead, they'll focus their efforts towards the top lane. King RD TP's in it, but it may be to his death. He'll lasso Arteezy, but one more auto attack ought to bring him down. That is an unfortunate play for the Bat Rider. Now Artour, he just pops the Song of Siren and TP's back to safety after forcing out a TP from the Lone Druid and the Centaur. That was very costly for Pain Gaming. 3 teleports essentially wasted, and the Bat Rider falls.
Yeah, extremely unfortunate state of affairs. I mean, yes, they did get the tower with their first wards of the game, but the wards get cleaned up, kind of giving that gold right back over to Evil Geniuses, and they expected to lose a little bit in the earlier stages here. 40R really needs to make up for lost time with whatever he's going to accomplish with this Lone Druid. He does have the Gloves of Haste, so at least going to get more chances for those Entangle procs when he does get on top of a target. But at least for right now, seems to be struggling in that regard, as his net worth is falling flatter and flatter. Like, he had a great start free farm, but Arteezy is going to continue to pull ahead here, especially now that the mirror images are at full strength and can start farming up the jungle.
Yeah, an interesting item trajectory, though, from Arteezy. He does go for the Drone of Endurance right after the Aquila, and I'm just surprised because if he hadn't made that stop off, he would basically have the Relic right now, which would have been a fabulous timing. He'll still be at a pretty good timing and going for a little more fighting utility, and I guess all those extra stats did help him survive against the Bat Rider, so certainly can make a case for it, but doing things a little differently here as they now move into this top tier 1 tower. No glyph available, and Pain will not come to its defense. We see all of them rotating towards the bottom lane and perhaps looking for a potential tier 2. They do have roster wards available, so this is an option, though it won't be an easy push, and I think EG will certainly look to defend a tier 2 tower this early on. Instead, they'll smoke up and I guess just set the trap, trying to bait out either Evil Geniuses so they can utilize this Stampede into a combo finally. Ooh, they'll find it on Zai, and there's your Stampede. If he gets caught in the lasso, as long as he survives the onslaught, he can get off the split, but that's not happening. The Flame breaks there with enough damage, and the Centaur will bring him down. It will cost the Centaur's life. That's a 1-for-1 trade. Now the Bat Rider TP's home as he makes it to the high ground, and it creates some space in the bottom. Wards come out, as well as the Spirit Bear wailing on this big guy, as Arteezy looking for the last hit, can't find the deny, and Shadow Shaman will secure it with the ward. So nice series of plays from Pain Gaming. They trade a 1-for-1, but they do get a tier 2 tower out of it to tip the scales, and there's your Blink Dagger on the Shadow Shaman.
Yeah, so I really like the movement there, at least from Pain Gaming, going in and getting that flanked off, kind of getting a surprise attack. It wasn't ideal how the initiation order went, but in the end they get the important kill. They set back the Brewmaster away from his level 11, and that tower kill gets them that Blink Dagger. So more potential initiation, more potential follow through with or without Stampede, and that's what they've been lacking so far this game. Soon enough, Ned will be able to farm up his level 6, contribute more than just his aura and stun to the team fight, and that's going to be pretty huge as well. I'm curious if he goes for a Hand of Midas to try to transition into a semi-carry himself with like the Mjolnir build, or if he's going to go a different route. But at least for now, they're going to look to hold the mid tier 1 as EG. They kind of go for the split. Arteezy farming down bottom, everybody else pushing in the mid lane, and ready to rumble with this primal split.
Yeah, Maelstrom's now picked up on the Druid, and we'll go over to the Bear, so that is a nice early game fighting item, as you mentioned. It will help increase the Spirit Bear's damage output by a pretty significant margin. Blink Dagger has been picked up on Zai as well. We haven't seen him use a primal split yet, I don't think. 14 minutes in, that's a little bit a characteristic of a solo mid Brewmaster, but just hasn't had too many great opportunities. Arteezy also level 11, 3,300 gold. If they can secure this tower with this push, that should be enough for his relic, especially if they can take a decent exchange as well. DotA Siren also level 2, which means a nice shorter cooldown, but he'll just cut his losses, head back to the top lane, commence the free farming, while the rest of EG continue to look for an opening. PPD smoked up, and invisibility rune bottled up by Zai.
Yeah, I'm actually surprised that Arteezy even bothered to go to the mid lane for the potential fight when he could just keep farming. Oh, the Spirit Bear taking some major hits here. Gets Fisher back. This is going to be a huge pickoff on the Bear. 300 gold going the way of PPD. And yeah, now he's going to be able to actually progress into an item. Like, you usually just see a support Venomancer sit on the basic, maybe Magic Wand, in this case Arcane Boots, for quite some time. He will actually still pick up the Magic Wand, but he actually has some item trajectory here. He's going to be moving forward, and he will actually be able to pick up maybe something like a Blink Dagger come mid-game.
Yeah, the Bear is certainly worth using a little bit of mana to try and lock the Bear down. That bounty is just so much. Also gives a nice chunk of experience to boot. So worth the exchange there, and will help out EG even more. Now about a 3,000 gold and experience lead. Universe has picked up his Blink Dagger, but just retreats back to the jungle and continues farming away. Usually the jungle is reserved for the Naga Siren, but Arteezy hasn't been pressured that hard in lane and hasn't really struggled to find places to farm, and that means there's still plenty of space open for Doom, and just opening up all this efficiency with these big farming tools. That is a relic on the way for Arteezy, and the courier will deliver it here momentarily. So we are looking at about a 17-minute Radiance, but that's with Aquila, Boots, and Drum of Endurance. Free relic.
Yeah, and a very warranted item progression from Arteezy. I think this was really smart to go for those extra little bit of stats so that he doesn't just get picked off lasso after lasso and end up losing that unreliable gold as he's trying to rush out the relics. So in this case here, he goes the safe route. He's still going to get it at an incredible time, and you can just watch how rapidly his farm increases. Like right now, only a few hundred gold away from the relic, he's at 510 GPM, but we're going to just see that skyrocket when he's able to farm the jungle with the illusions and just take full control of the map.
Yeah, Blink Dagger's coming out all over the place here. Centaur is grabbed his, which is huge for the Radiant side. The Force Staff also picked up on the Bat Rider, but now we'll see Fear pick up an early blink on this Earthshaker. Only 60 minutes in, and a great timing for him. He's found a fair bit of fun in this game. That will be 3 Blink Daggers on each side. So not only initiation, but a lot of counter initiation on both sides of the coin. Now EG will back out. Good game sense here, or maybe just lucky movements as these camps have already been cleared out. They'll move into a more defensive positioning, and this aggressive smoke from Pain will be rendered unsuccessful.
Wow, that's actually quite surprising. They were able to get out of that one with all this initiation, the 2 blinks of Stampede. You'd figure they'd find a pick with this kind of opening, but EG, they just are, I would say, a little bit lucky in how they moved there. Like, they obviously sensed a little bit of pressure coming forth, but to the extent that they moved in right when Pain were walking by, that's pretty huge. Now that we look for kind of a delay, they just want to actually sap down the Wraith King's HP so the Ned doesn't feel confident in where he's going to position himself for that next reincarnate. So another set of wards drop, and another set of wards are farmed up. A lot of gold going away of Evil Geniuses, and we just look at the net worth graph in general. Despite the tower kills that have come out early on, actually only 1 tower claimed so far, about to be 2 for EG. If the deny doesn't come out, come on, Trophy Karyoka! Not getting the deny until the last possible second, but a deny nevertheless. Either way, with 2 towers down, that is a 5,000 gold or net worth gain for
Evil Geniuses.
Totally
picnicked there. I was like, deny, where? And I looked at every other lane except the bottom. And yeah, that's I guess a bit of a misplay, but
No, he got the deny. It was just like it was a siege creep. The projectile was like just outside of the hitbox of it, about to impact it, and he just barely cleans it up.
Yeah. So
PvE.
now the Radiance is out, and EG will be happy just to sit back and keep farming. Zai drops his Arcane Boots, takes Arcane Boots from Fear for a little bit of enhanced efficiency, and oh wow, that's fun. Like that. Rolling the dice a little bit, that's always fun. Arteezy does use a Song of Siren in the bottom lane as Bat Rider shows himself, but Arteezy just makes an easy escape and will go back to farm. Only 3-2, but pretty obvious, I think, that EG are the big benefactors of this slow, passive farming game. They have a Hand of Midas and a Radiance Naga. They'll be happy just to sit back and keep farming pretty much for the next half hour or so if Pain Gaming will let them.
Yeah, it's going to be very difficult to bring down the Naga Siren at this stage. I mean, you have to think about, obviously, how much the Maelstrom can proc and how much damage it can deal, but also, I think at this point, they're almost just looking for a pick-off. It is possible, even when BOTs come out, first and foremost, the mid lane.
Well, speak of the devil, Zai will get caught by the lasso, and that will end up being a pretty easy kill on him. No chance to even use that Primal Split. And, well, Pain Gaming will level it out. 3 apiece. Kill is a step in the right direction, but they'll need a lot more than just a singleton pickoff with a 4-hero rotation than to really start regaining momentum in this game. Arteezy, 170 last hits in 19 minutes. That is pretty damn good.
Yeah, he is just going to be luxurious in a matter of minutes. When he gets the Yasha BOTs, he's really going to be able to move across the map and make it very difficult for Pain to pin him down. Whenever he has Song, he has an escape mechanism. But I will note...
Fear. Is he going to go for the dunk? There's a lot of creeps inbound. I thought he might go for that, but no. He'll just back up and play it safe. Now Zai comes in. There's your Thunderclap. Takes the Wraithfire Blast. Ned does have a Reincarnate and will be able to come back to life if they bring him down. Doom on Domino. Stampede is on cooldown as Fear breaks forward. Will finish him off. And they also bring out the Reincarnation. Now the Hoof Stomp's there on the Doom, and yeah, Ned will go down a second time. So a nice 2-for-no exchange from EG. Fear patience pays off, and they will keep their tower standing, though it is in deny range and pretty close to death.
Yeah, so in this position, they're going to, of course, deny it, and they are now controlling the entire map. The tier 1s are the only thing that you can really pick off against the Radiance Naga Siren without a huge collaborative effort. After that, the Radiance push is just cutting down the creep waves too substantially to actually like get just a freebie tier 2. It's not going to happen. So we're going to see them having to make coordinated movements from this point forward. Fortunately, they do have the Stampede for this, but the one thing that they can do is try to force out the Song TP, now that the BOTs are up on Arteezy, and then go for the Flame Break to break it. I think that's really their only way to guarantee the death of the Naga Siren, barring the perfect chain stun.
Yeah. Well, Zai appears to be going for a BKB on the Brewmaster. Has the Ogre Club, so I guess a little flexibility if he wants to go for the Ags, but generally a sign that the Black King Bar will be on the way. Fear looking towards a 4th staff, has that Ringer regen up. Universe, he'll just move into a Black King Bar as well, so lots of magic immunity for Evil Geniuses. Let's take a look on the Druid. How's his farm looking? He's got the Maelstrom still up on the Bear, and 2,800 gold in savings, so still hasn't invested in anything quite yet, but Mjolnir very well may just be his next item of choice.
That's he's actually going to get the Demon Edge off the courier. He really needs that MKB, so that's what he's going to go for next, and that'll make it so the Drunken Haze just doesn't completely negate his impact in the fights.
Yep. Good call, my friend. Still, he has a pretty long way to go, and he just simply can't farm as fast as the Naga Siren. All things equal, if he had gone for a Radiance, maybe they could keep up kind of blow for blow. But like you mentioned, Arteezy will go for these movement speed items. BOT is already complete, so he'll be cruising around and can now have that luxury of farming other lanes and then pressing forward and helping out. On the top lane, soften him up with the Radiance burn. The Shadow Shaman tries to TP out. He gets taken out, and Ned has no Reincarnate. And that's a double kill for the Naga Siren. Arteezy wasn't even there. Those were just illusions.
Yeah. Not often you can say that you get the experience for the kills that your illusions claim across the map, but in the case of hero kills, it does work out. So Arteezy gets a nice little boost there, and just kind of communicating very well with Zai to find that opening after he burned them down so substantially. So we're not going to see the items come out just yet for Zai because he isn't picking up those kills. He's got 4 assists to his name, actually. But even still, they've got control of the map right now, and that makes it very difficult for Pain to feel confident going into these next bits. I mean, 40R hiding hiding out, just trying to farm the enemy ancients with his Spirit Bear here. He is going to be able to clean those up, but at severe risk. I mean, in this position, there's no easy out. He gets caught by like the ensnare or the song. There's no TP for him.
Yeah, and there you go. Song of the Siren set up. All the reinforcements for EG are inbound, and 40R will get punished for his aggression here. I don't see any way he survives this one. There's your Thunderclap, your Ensnare, Fissure, and that's a dead Druid. He had that bear alive for a while, so we'll be able to summon another one upon his respawn. But that's the big farmer for Pain, and if he keeps getting picked off like that, things will get worse very, very quickly. Arteezy now essentially doubling his farm after finding that kill there and the double kill up top. Now 14k versus the 8 on terms of total net worth. EG will feel pretty comfortable just moving straight into the Roche pit.
Yeah, absolutely. Batrider will be able to pick up the tower. I don't know why they actually did not deny that. You were talking about it, maybe Fear going in for the dunk and making a big play happen. In the end, they still get the pursuit, but they can't forget about the tower, leaving some gold on the table. So, it's easy pick for Pain. They're going to be able to get some nice gold out of that, but will it really amount to enough items to turn this back around? I mean, right now the Roshan's dropping quickly. Aegis is going to go to the Naga Siren. It's already hard enough to kill her once. Killing her twice? My goodness, it's just a really tall order.
She's not even really that tanky yet. I mean, 1400 HP, 17 armor is tanky-ish, but relative to how tanky she will be coming up soon here, yeah, that's where things get really scary. Now there's that Yasha in the inventory, another one of those great farming items, pushing that Naga close to max movement speed, 483, so she's just slithering up a storm. And they're ready to fight. Evil Geniuses will start to get a little aggressive here as Mino taking that Radiance Burn. He will get caught by Zai's Thunderclap, takes a crit, and not much the Centaur can do. Will use a Stampede, a long-range net, as Arteezy sets up a kill, and his Fear that secures that one with a Fissure.
Yeah, so with all these pickoffs going the way of EG, when Pain are drafting the pick-centric lineup, they are just, I mean, they're not just hurting in the carry department, they're really just hurting in their entire control of the map. They did pick up this gem to try to regain that lost momentum and actually might find a pick on Zai, but they drop down the ward. At best, they get a D ward. They won't find an opening. But yeah, they got the gem. Hopefully the Batrider can hold on to that for some time if they're going to stay in this game, but it's just allowed them to take out a couple wards that were placed offensively from PG, not really allowing them to start putting pressure on the other side of the river. And with that, the tier 2s aren't really taking any hits. The Naga Siren's farm is pretty much at maximum, and yeah, like you said, those big items are coming out. Mantis Towel already up for Arteezy.
Lasso on to Zai with a few damage to bring him down. Split is available. PPT's there, but nothing he can do to stop the damage output from coming. Artour was inbound, could have used a Song of the Siren there to turn the fight, but he's busy farming in the jungle and now has his Manta style. Again, Pain find a pick on Zai. I don't know what it is about this Brewmaster, but they put a lot of priority into shutting him down. He is actually the only hero they've killed. They have 4 kills and he's 0-4.
It's a brutal game for him, but he is the dog they want. Oh, that Echo Slam!
Mason tremble. Ned will survive. In comes Mino, but out comes PPD. Poison Mino will survive for a couple seconds, gets off the Stampede before going down. Ned will try to isolate Fear and will be successful in that front, but won't have the damage to bring him down. Fear will just TP out as he is completely stuck in the tree line. So 1 for 3 trade, I guess you could say, as they started off with the kill on Zai, and then EG were there with the response, and pretty much clean house.
That was no shock indeed. That Echo Slam, that might be the GG dunk right now, because at this point they're already so far behind, but pushing in the towers, getting all this kill momentum, Arteezy is just going to be an absolute monster on the back of his supports, and yeah, there is very little you can do to hold this without like perfect positioning, perfect pickoffs. The BKB on the Batrider will help you engage, but it won't set you anything up. I mean, like, we haven't even looked at, like, Universe. He's been farming up this whole game. He's been very quiet, not really that many Dooms coming out, but in the end, because the Brewmaster's been the one that's been getting picked off, he's able to farm up towards the Shiva's Guard, this full BKB, this Blink Dagger, and can pretty much just do whatever he wants. We'll just leave the tower down bottom. That may or may not be a mistake. The Plague Wards will try to take the tower, and they will not be successful. Wraithkin gets a deny. Zeno gets a quick trip to the grave, but he'll buy back. This isn't even like Rage. This is I ain't even mad back, and they're gonna go right back into the fight.
Yeah, Fear will finish off the Shadow Shaman. Wards come down, but not doing a hell of a lot. King RT managed to get off the last but it comes to a kill. Nino will take the doom. He'll get finished off, and you can just see the farm difference here. Pain Gaming getting completely cleaned up, and EG really not that much worse for wear. Their Earthshaker tanked the lasso and pretty much all the damage output, and he's still alive. Meanwhile, on the base, Arteezy with a Aegis of the Immortal still in the inventory. He won't be too afraid. They're going pretty deep, looking for a kill on 40R. Does end up falling, but he'll get right back up. And Druid will actually have to get stampeded to make it back to the well. Now Arteezy, it seems like he's in trouble, but oh, don't worry. He's got a Song of the Siren, and she blows. And he'll just slither back to safety. Just picks up a defusal with the enemy shop. He'll have to stop off at the grocery store while you're killing some heroes, and he'll survive, make some illusions. Sets up to stop the Blink Dagger, softens him up. Zai goes back in. That'll be a dead Bat Rider. Down goes the Shatter Shot with a Centaur. Another slam dunk from Fear as they dive the well. 40R gets cleaned up, and Ultra kill for Allison. He will fall to the Fire Bush, but GG well played is called, and EG with a dominant performance over CNB now on the tag team Pain.
And that was absolutely insane. He went from like 510 gold per minute at the 15-minute mark and broke towards 800 by the end of this 28.5-minute game. Evil Geniuses, I mean, they could play this, like you said, they could play this game for another 30-40 minutes and it would just get worse for Pain. But in 28.5, they're able to seal the deal, giving the Naga Siren 760 plus gold per minute. Yeah, I mean, they had to bite the Zai a couple times with the Brewmaster, but only to just set up the team for success. Great play from Fear with some amazing fishers. One really awesome Echo Slam, but of course Arteezy got to be put in the spotlight here with that amazing GPM.
Most definitely. Now, coming up next, guys, we've got another good one. There are 6 games on the docket today. That's 2 down, but probably the headliner for